Hello, this is Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational Series race, season number 5, race number 6, and we are back here at the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona for an 80-lap race with the LSCI cars. We've had a pretty eventful first 5 races of the season, and we're now starting to get to we're a quarter of the way through the regular season here, and definitely looking at points a lot more than we were at this stage last year. A lot of names that are down at the bottom of the standings looking to have a good run today. Some of them starting up at the front, some of them starting in the back. But this Phoenix is no ordinary Phoenix. As we've seen before, you can definitely pass cars even for the lead here. Make some moves that maybe you're not able to on other versions of this track, but I'm really excited for this race, and I'm really excited to have Nathan Stapleton up in the booth here today. Nathan, I'm glad to have you back. I believe the previous race you called was Mansfield last year, and that was a bit of an interesting race. But what are you expecting for this race here at the Phoenix Raceway?
Thanks for having me, and it's gonna be interesting because, of course, like you mentioned, the last time I was here was on a short track at Mansfield, much bigger track compared to Mansfield's here today for me, and it's gonna be interesting because based off of what you kind of showed me and what I've heard, this is a very interesting Venus that I'm not used to seeing, and if that's the case, we could be in store for a very fun one here for 80 laps in the desert.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I want to bring up for this, like, of course, it is going to be an 80-lap race. I'm expecting a one-stop race, but there are some other tracks where we've expected one stop, but we ended up getting some fuel mileage at the end. Maybe we might see that again here at Phoenix, depending on when the cautions fall. So, what do you think you can do to prepare for something like that, especially since it's been kind of one of the running themes this season of those late pit sequences? If it does turn into that, what's the best way that you can guarantee yourself a good finish out of it?
Well, it's pretty simple, if you have to pit, just do it early and take a splash of fuel and then just drive like crazy to get up to the front maybe. But at the same time, if you think you can make it, just save. Just gotta save, and that could be maybe a little bit too much to ask for the NR2003 AI, but it's definitely going to be interesting whether this be a one-stop race or if it ends up being free mileage. That's just assuming if we stay green, because based off of what you said and what I saw, it could be very chaotic here on the start, and it could be interesting of how this race all shakes out.
Yeah, absolutely. This could end up being a very chaotic one. We've kind of seen both sides. We've seen a pretty tame race. That was the one that we got last year, and then we saw the crazy one that happened 2 years ago in season number 3. But let's go over your starting lineup here. In row number 1, we've got the 66 of Tyler Landry, who was off to a pretty dismal start in the 66, but he's turned it on the last couple weeks. He's going to be starting on pole. Finished second at Coda last week. And alongside him is the rookie sensation, the current points leader, Alnita Kim. Had her first really bad outing at Coda, but definitely looking to bounce back here at Phoenix. Row number 2 is the 19 car of Jake Sidney alongside the 45 of James Harvin. Row number 3, the 99 of Akia Tajima, fourth in points. It's been pretty quietly consistent this season, has not finished outside the top 20 yet, but only has one top 10, so he's been just getting the most that he can, even on his worst days. Speaking of worst days, Tim Berry down in 31st in points, definitely looking to rebound and have a good day here at Phoenix. This track has not been kind to him in the past, but maybe he can turn it around here in that one car, starting from the 5th position. Then you've got the 81 car of Jack Gino, last year's winner at this track, looking to go back to back. And the 92 of Paula Sasiqua, the Auto Club winner, returning for the first time since that astounding upset win in the 100th LSCI race. That's going to be a tall task to back that up, but she's starting in 7th. This is the track she made her first LSCI start at. She had a pretty good run, finishing 12th in the 32 car last year. looking for another good run here today in the 92. Then we got Kobe Hollenbeck in the number 2 and Kevin DuPont in the 98, who got into a bit of a scuffle with James Harvin the past couple of races, both of them starting inside the top 10. Definitely got to watch out for the 98 and the 45 if they end up near each other on the track. Then in row number 6, we've got the 50 car of Jacob Lopez, the 7-time LSCI race winner, still top of the charts. And alongside him is the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. Row number 7, you got Laken Herndon and Holly Martin. Row number 8 is the 3 of George Bryan and the 24 of Cooper Spur. Row number 9, the 58 of Joanna Clark and the 57 car of Shauna Everett. Then you've got Corbin Taps in the 16 and the 88 of Billy Smith. The 8 car of Darren Walker alongside the 15 of Nathan Buchanan. Then you've got the 77 car of JT Boyd alongside the 85 of Charlie McCarran. Kate Summers in the 32 alongside the 55 of Michael Harvin. Mikey Fox in the number 9 making his LSCI debut here today. We had a bit of a driver shuffle in the back of the field. Wesley Shelton ended up going to Diamond Motorsports for this race, and he actually failed to make the race. That 65's troubles making the race continue. But Mikey Fox actually puts this 9 car in the field, and we'll see what he can do in that car. And alongside him is the 62 of Vinny Scholes. Then we've got the 70 of Damon Kirby and the 64 Miller Motorsports car back for the second time this season. Lulu Connie is driving the car this week. And, their regular driver, Lucas Forster, was down in Mexico for the LCI Amateur Series race. So they had to pick someone else. Lulu got this car into the field. Then we've got the 6 car of Laurie Jackson, who's been off to a terrible start. 35th in points for the McPickey Motorsports number 6. And starting deep in the field here today, alongside the 36 car of Ashley Blake. You got the 18 of Zach Dearman, the closer. He's going to have to come from back in the field if he wants a shot at the win today, alongside the 29 of JB Chanot, who was last week's winner, breaking a long winless streak that dated all the way back to 2023. That's great news for her, but the bad news is that she's starting out back here today. Adrian Wheeler and Simon Lawrenson will be rounding out the field in row number 18. And like we mentioned, the 1 D&Q was the 65 Diamond Motorsports Honda, driven by Wesley Shelton. 80 laps here at Phoenix. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Should be a one-stop race, but like we said, depending on where the cautions fall, possibility for a two-stopper, and maybe even some fuel mileage at the end of this thing. But it's going to be an exciting one for sure. And we're going to see what ends up happening here at Phoenix Raceway.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the field will roll off of the backstretch here at Phoenix. Since we're using an older version of the track, this actually is still the backstretch. Nathan, who do you think is going to win the race today?
Well, I think track position is going to be key. So give me the number 1 machine to get the job done here today, and that very noticeable T-Mobile machine here. And Tim Barry needs a good one, and I think he might get it.
Yeah, Tim Barry, the defending champion, ran away with the championship last year, but he's going to need some good runs to stack up this year. But it's going to be Landry and Alnita Kim leading them to the green, and we are racing here at Phoenix. Rounding turn number 4, Landry will lead lap number 1, and a battle for second between the second and third place starters, Alnita Kim and James Harvin. Not much movement up at the front so far. Got to be careful out of turn number 2. That is a trouble spot sometimes. Gino and Hollenbeck nose to tail there. Akia Tajima goes from top to bottom, puts the block on Paula Sisiqua. Looks like Harvin is going to take second with Barry into third. Kim is not getting that outside lane moving very well. Sometimes you can get good runs off the outside, especially in turn number 4. So that is something we're going to have to watch out as the race goes on. But on the initial start, there's not much rubber up there. So oftentimes you see drivers fading on that outside lane. But Landry and Harvin, the 2 blue Chevrolets, in first and second here. But Tim Barry's going to try and break into it, making a McPickey 1-2. as he goes side by side with Harvin. And there you see Harvin getting that run off the corner that I was talking about. He'll hold on to second.
And this definitely reminds me of a older version of Phoenix with the 2011 version after they repaved it. And this is basically that with just older asphalt. So it's gonna be interesting of how this all plays out. Look at that move though. What a sim from the Holvin in the 45. They're gonna be side by side, and it'll be Holvin leading that lap. And we gotta see of how this race plays out and how some cars might be better on the short one, some might be better on the long one, and how these lanes end up going about here today. But what a move from Holvin through 3 and 4.
Well, it's Sasequa picking up where she left off with that upset win at Fontana. She's challenging Tim Berry for third, and it looks like she might even take the spot here as they're going to go 3 wide now for the 4th position. Jake Sidney trying to stick the nose underneath. Oh, Kim's going to slide up the track. A bit of contact between the 1 and the 79, but they keep it straight. No further harm done to either driver, although Berry might be losing some spots on that outside lane as Sydney and Lopez try and get some traction down on the bottom. Paula Sasequa is now trying to take second away from Tim Berry as James Harvin continues to pace the field here on lap number 7. But side by side through 1 and 2, Landry had to check up because the 45 was in front of him, and Paula Sasequa was trying to charge up to the front here. Wouldn't it be something if she goes 2 for 2 in her part-time starts here this season? And here she comes for the race lead.
Great move from the 92 inside the 45. Can the 45 get one up top? And what can the 66 do? Gonna try and think about through wide. That's what I was thinking. This is 66 was gonna do. But all this battling, and Tempele's all the way back on the inside, and watch out for the McDonald's machine back there of the number 50 machine.
Jacob
And
Lopez.
always some fantastic racing at Phoenix. This is why I really like Phoenix, especially kind of this type of version where you can run the inside lane, middle, and outside, and some great racing all over the place.
Sasequa side by side with James Harvin, still trying to get the lead from him. 3 cars on the inside, and now 3 cars on the outside as Lopez moves up there. Sasequa's going to try and slide in front of the 45. They're going to drag race back to the finish line there. Harvin will continue to lead, but he's under some heavy pressure from this Pacific Racing Toyota, and Tim Berry is trying to cut low in the corners as well. But Paula Sasequa at the track where she made her debut, and 2 weeks after her big win at Auto Club, is having another big run here at Phoenix, but she has a hungry pack of cars to hold off. That was a great corner though, and the 92 will be clear for the lead here on lap number 11. Harvin is trying to get to the inside, but he wasn't close enough to make the move, and he's got the one of Tim Berry underneath. It is a fleet of Chevrolets chasing down the Toyota of Paula Sasequa, and you got a couple more Toyotas, the 79, the 99, and the 41 up here at the front. Not a lot of Honda and Ford representation up here. You've got Jake Sidney and you've got Kevin DuPont, but other than that, not a lot going on up at the front for the Fords and the Hondas. But there is definitely a lot going on up at the front in terms of the action, and that 92 is pulling away. Paula Sasequa is, as they continue to battle behind her. Here comes the 66 of Landry trying to take second. I saw the 50 slide up the track in the back as well. But more battling going on up front, but this is for second now as Sasequa is pulling away in that 92 car.
And it looks like the outside lane is starting to get more dominant. But why not say that Landry is going to make me eat my words there? And look at the 50 of Lopez down from the top to the bottom. They almost made it 3 wide then. Fantastic stuff here at Phoenix already. And looks like maybe the outside lane is getting a little bit better as the one goes on and these tires get a little bit older. Lopez trying to do a slide job on Harvin. Doesn't have to. Gonna get clear. Tim Berry trying to get to the inside as well. But Lopez looks strong here in the 50 machine. And we gotta see if he's gonna challenge for second, and he will. And how about this? We might have a battle for the race lead soon because this 50 is flying.
Yeah, Lopez was another driver that had a pretty difficult start to the season, but he had a good run at Coda last week, and he is backing it up with another good run here at Phoenix as he moves his way up to P2 and now sets his sights on the 92 of Paula Sisiqua. Battle for fourth. It's Harvin, James Harvin, the teammate to Jacob Lopez, trying to battle the one car of Tim Berry, who's the teammate to Tyler Landry. So Motor Racing Ventures and McPicky Motorsports showing out here at the front. Alnita Kim is right behind them, and then you've got Karina Willis Calloway in the 41 having a nice run, and the 99 of Akia Tajima, who's been steady and consistent all season. And here you see him up here again, just took the 7th spot away from the 41. And now here comes the 79 underneath the 45. And for the lead, they are stacking up. The 50 and 66 have caught up to the back bumper of Paula Sisiqua. We are approaching the 1/4 mark through this race. Really doesn't feel like we've made it through that much of the race, but there's been a lot of action up at the front. A lot of different leaders so far. Jacob Lopez trying to become one of those different leaders. He has been charging through the field. He's got to the bumper, the 92, and here he comes to the inside through 3 and 4.
I feel like I called it a little bit here, and this 50 is flying. Lopez is possibly gonna make this pass stick here entering turn 1, and looks like Lopez will. So from top to bottom, from 5th to 1st, in a handful of laps, and I mean, I see if Lopez can stick it here at some point. We gotta see if anyone ends up closing in. Because the 50 is very fast. We got Landry, got the 79 back here doing a good job on the move of Tim Bailey on the inside. But so far, Lopez is out of here.
Gonna take this opportunity to check in on the back of the field. Oh, it looks like we did have a bit of an incident. The 70 car has some
Oh,
damage on the left side. Mikey Fox and JT Boyd are back here. Tough break there for Boyd. Kate Summers and Zach Tierman back here. And these are two drivers that have had really good starts to the season. You kind of expect them to be running a little bit better. JB Chanot, last week's winner, is in the back here. Simon Lawrenson puts a slide job on George Bryan there. Thorey Jackson, Jack Gino also in the back here. So a few surprises down at the tail end of the field, as well as some surprises up here. I mean, Sisiqua, ooh, Barry got the wall a little bit off of turn number 4. Doesn't seem like he got it too hard, but he and Kim are racing for the 4th position here. But Landry also got past the 92 of Sisiqua, so he is now the one trying to chase down Jacob Lopez. These two have visited victory lane quite a bit. Landry has 5 career wins to his name, and Lopez has 7. So we'll see if maybe this battle ends up between these two, but there's still about 60 laps left in this race, so things can change very quickly.
still got a lot of time here, and we still got the pit stop to go too, and that's going to be really interesting of how everything all plays out. How about the 15 of Nathan Buchanan on the move? One of the rookies here, and he works to have a long one car. 41 is on the move, the 99 is on the move. There's definitely a lot of. There's a handful of comers and goers right now. Some people don't have a good long run car. Some people do have a good long run car. We are seeing it right now, and we gotta see when pit stops end up happening. We're only 20 plus laps in, and definitely seeing a lot of movement throughout the field here. But the
3
McDonald's
wide.
machine as oh boy, that's 3 wide back here. And they're gonna
Michael
settle back
Harvin.
down.
Michael Harvin doing the smart thing and backing out, but almost more 3 wide there. Joanna Clark, who won last time you were in the booth, Nathan, back at Mansfield, having about a mid-pack run here. She's been having these runs all year long. You know, Diamond Motorsports not the best equipment, so putting it top 20 is definitely a good run for her. But a lot of action in the midfield. You've got Kevin DuPont and Darren Walker, the Walker Brothers Racing teammates, side by side, and then further back, Charlie McCarron, the 3rd Walker Brothers Racing car. I think that's almost all the Hondas in the race, all in this mid part of the pack. Nathan Buchanan is flying up through the field. This 15 wants to join Alnita Kim up here. These two have been the most hyped up rookies because they absolutely torched the amateur series last year. Buchanan ended up winning the championship. Alnita Kim ended up falling short, but they were by far the two best drivers in amateurs last year, and they're definitely the two best rookies as well. Both of them running inside the top 10. Kim in 4th and Buchanan now in 7th, but Tim Berry, did he put the bumper to the 79 there in
I
3
think
and 4? He
so.
might have tried. He might have tried to. But these two have been racing each other very hard for position. And this 41 of Karina Willis Callaway has also been having a great run. P6 right now in the Connie Twins Motorsports Toyota, and these two have been swapping second place back and forth. Paula Sasikwa and Tyler Landry, and this is exactly what Jacob Lopez wants to see as Sasikwa goes way up the racetrack. I think that might give the 66 the advantage going into 1 and 2, but Sasikwa is keeping that nose ahead of Landry as they battle side by side. It is now a 1 second lead for Jacob Lopez in the 50, while the battle rages on for second, and it looks like Barry is clear for 4th, at least for now.
And definitely seeing these guys slip up the racetrack, and definitely, I think the outside lane's getting a little bit better here on the long one. And it's going to be interesting of how it all plays out. And an impressive one from these rookies of Kim and Buchanan. And Buchanan still going to pick off cars here, possibly to the inside of the 41 of Callaway. And impressive to see the 15 on the move this late into the 1. Don't know really started, but he's on fire right now. And how about another rookie, Kim, that switches back to the inside Bailey. Crazy stuff for 4th through 9th here with these 5 cars. But Lopez doing a great job out front. Interesting to see when we might see pit stops here. But on lap 30 of A. And now if the setting's not careful, and if the outside lane gets going here, Kim could get trained here.
Absolutely, and the battle for second continues to rage on, about 1 second back of the lead. Paula Sasikwa coming off of that defining win 2 weeks ago, trying to back it up with another podium. This is just some very impressive stuff coming out of Paula Sasikwa. She did not score a top 10 in her 7 starts last year. She could open out her part-time slate with a win, and then possibly a podium finish here if she can hold on to it. And that win at Auto Club, she was running about 10th through 15th the whole race and kind of got lucky with the pit cycle at the end. But this is definitely on pace, a top 3 run for the 92 car. And the battle for 4th continues to rage on. Kim and Barry have been putting on a heck of a show here. And we've got 6 cars under a blanket here. Whoa, the 41 slides up in front of Corbin Taps, the second place driver in points, and he gets sideways off of turn 4. Won the first 2 races of the season, hasn't done a ton since, but man, he got sideways off of turn 4, though. He's really driving the heck out of that thing. And that's just kind of what we're going to start to see here as the tires start to wear out. There's not a ton of tire wear here at Phoenix. Not even a second after 33 laps, but we're reaching that halfway point, and that's when we're going to expect these guys to come in. Still side by side for second between Landry and Sasikwa.
Fantastic stuff here today. And I think the reason why we're seeing such great racing is because of it being a hot and slick race rather in the 90s here today. So that's allowing these guys to slip and slide and run all over the place. And here we go again between the 92 and the 66 machine. The more that these two go at it, the more Lopez is going to pull away in the 50. And same can be said with the cars behind him bound for 4th. The more that they battle, the more that's the top 3 are going to pull away. And how about this second points? Gonna make it 3 right here. Crazy stuff here
Taps
today,
and
man.
Buchanan, the former teammates at Appalachia Motorsports in the amateur series. Buchanan's going to slide up the track. Karina Willis Callaway going to try and take advantage of that, going to the inside. Darren Walker has joined this battle in the 8. He's the highest running Honda right now, trying to pass for 9th here. Lots of good stuff here back in this pack. Tim Berry is going to try and scoot away from this pack, and he wants nothing to do with any of this as these guys continue to go at it. But we're about 5 laps at least from the pit cycle starting, and I'll be very interested to see which one of these guys ends up coming in first to try and undercut, maybe get some track position on the 50 car, almost 3 wide again between the 79, the 15, and the 41 as they continue to fight inside the top 10. Darren Walker has been picking up a lot of spots on this run. Charlie McCarron is just outside the top 10 as well, so these Walker Brothers racing cars are looking pretty sporty here as the run goes on. Didn't have the best of qualifying runs, but they're definitely showing up here. Adrian Wheeler in the 40. I tell you what, these Motor Racing Ventures cars are pretty fast. He started dead last here today, and now he's in the 14th position. So it's been a feast or famine kind of start to the season for Wheeler. He has 2 podiums, but every other finish he has been outside the top 20. But he's having a pretty good run here today. Nice charge through the field for that 40 car, passing more than half the field in only half the race, but here we go. We're starting to approach it, and Jacob Lopez, I mean, he's just pulled away. Almost a 2-second lead now over the 66 and the 92. But once again, who will be the first to come in and get those fresh tires, try and get the jump on that 50 car? I think that's going to be the way that you're really going to chew into that lead, is with a good pit stop. And we're getting closer to that time. Those pit crews are getting ready right now.
And this is gonna be interesting. I gotta think, if you want to close in to Lopez, who has such a dominant race car right now, you gotta do the undercut. I know it might not work out towards the end. And here we go. I think the 79
I
is the
think
point where he's
Kim is going to
gonna
do it.
try and split this race right down the middle here. And
Sasikwa
same with the
also into the
92.
pits. And it was pit strategy that won her the race at Auto Club. It ended up being fuel mileage. This time she's trying tire strategy, trying getting that undercut on the 50 car. Lots of
Oh
action going on
boy.
further in the back. The 99 and 55 had a bit of a moment. You do not want to see a caution come out in the middle of a pit cycle. That leads to all sorts of shenanigans. George Bryan, Kate Summers, Damon Kirby also coming in early. And here comes the 50 and the 66. Side by side for the race lead on the racetrack. It was Taps and Buchanan that are still staying out here. Yes, they are racing each other hard. The 85, the 45, and the 40 also staying out, as well as some of the cars further in the back. Sasikwa is now out of the pit lane. Kim, Summers, and Bryan finish their stops, and we're going to watch the 66 of Tyler Landry as he makes his pit stop here at the halfway point at Phoenix. Going to be taking 4 tires. And there goes Lopez, already out of the pits. Absolutely blistering stop by the 50 car.
And we gotta watch out for the merge point.
Oh yeah, watch out merging into the pits. We still got cars that have not come in yet. Looks like Billy Smith, JB Chanot are going to stay out an extra lap. They're going to try and run it long so that they can have the better tires on the end of the run. I wonder if that might even be better than taking the overcut. This 41 car might cycle out to the lead. I think she was up at the front, but actually it appears to have been an extended stay for Karina Willis-Callaway, so that's unfortunate for her. She was up in the top 10, having a great run, but it looks like she is going to drop all the way back to 35th. And the 70 of Damon Kirby also had an extended stay, but that's not surprising considering the damage we saw on the side. Now Jacob Lopez has a lap car in front of him, and that can make things interesting with Paula Sasikwa not too far behind, but everybody else is just way back of this 50 car. A couple more cars coming in, the 88 and the 29. I believe the 6 car of Lori Jackson is going to be the last one to come in. Actually, it looks like she already did come in. So once the 88 and the 29 leave the pits, we're going to cycle through. That was almost a yellow right there. The 36 bumping into the 8 there of Darren Walker. Ashley Blake almost forcing a yellow there. But let's see what that gap is for the 50 car next time by as he gets past the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway. He's got himself a nice and comfy lead here. Not too nice and comfy, though. 1.2 seconds. Sasikwa did gain a little bit, but Sasikwa also came in 1 lap before Lopez did. And it's 6.4 seconds back to the 79 of Alnita Kim, who's currently running in P3.
And that's the undercut for you. That very much helps the top two. And unless we get a caution, it's going to come down to the 50 or the 92 here today. And it might not even matter because this 50 is very, really fast. But he's losing time. He's going to get almost turned by a lap car of the 41.
Oh my goodness, Karina. Almost turned the 50 of Jacob Lopez off of turn 2. That was a hairy moment. And this lap car is definitely messing with Jacob Lopez here. Honestly, if I were him, I'd just let her go and just try not to deal with her. But you can't back off too much because Sasikwa's right there. Just 1 second back. And it looks like Karina Willis-Callaway will get her lap back here. But that was dicey right there. We almost saw the leader get turned off of turn number 2. But here comes the 92, Paula Sasikwa. Definitely his closest competition, Jacob Lopez.
That's
she closed a lot last lap.
Oh boy, yeah, gained 3/10 of a second, and that's basically, as a lap car, that's telling the leader, hey, get out of my way so I can get my lap back. But at the same time, don't wreck me, please. And that is interesting. Maybe the 92 did the right adjustments on pit road. Maybe has a better short run car than what the 50 does, because Lopez was pulling away late in that one and had almost a 2-second lead. But we still have 30 laps to go at the line at Sunby, and it'll most likely come down to these two unless something happens. And now Lopez trying to get to the inside of the 41. I don't like this move. I would just stay behind the 41 because clearly bound to put the 41 the lap down is costing Lopez time on the 92.
Oh, right to the back bumper of Karina Willis-Callaway. Sasikwa 8/10 behind. I think the logic here is that if he gets held up behind this lap car for too long, then Sasikwa could close in on him that way. So he definitely wants that buffer between himself and the 92, but we saw that Karina almost wrecked him earlier. And we know this 41 is a fast car. She was in the top 10 earlier, so she'll definitely be battling with him probably throughout the remainder of this race. So Jacob Lopez in a bit of a hairy situation here for sure. And it looks like he will make the pass on Karina Willis-Callaway for now, so that will put her in between him and Paula Sasikwa. Battle for third rages on, and I feel like every time we look at these two, they're side by side. Kim and Barry. Kim trying to extend that points lead. How about Kate Summers starting near the back? Ends up in 5th place. She's off to a pretty good start this season. Almost won at Atlanta, ended up finishing 2nd, led most of the laps at Rockingham, ended up finishing 4th, I believe. Not the greatest of finishes the last few weeks, but Summers is looking to have another good run. Holly Martin had a top 10 at COTA and is backing it up with another good run here. Adrian Wheeler trying the last to first challenge. He's made it all the way up to 8th. Joanna Clark is up to 9th. This could be her first top 10 of the year. But Tyler Landry really did not have a good pit stop. He dropped all the way down to P10, battling with Laken Herndon in the 39. There was a lot of shuffling in the pits that happened under that cycle. James Harvin, oh boy, these two have found each other. Remember what I said at the top of the show, these two have gotten into some incidents in the last couple weeks. So I think we should probably keep an eye on DuPont and Harvin. I think if we're going to get a caution, it's going to come from those two.
One might come from the sit stare. That was a massive 3-wide late move, and it's definitely getting a little bit antsy here. And it's late in the going. If we end up having a caution, that will change everything. And they all know that, hey, we already made our pit stop. Let's just go for broke here. And that is what they are doing in the middle of the field.
Oh yeah, this is around mid pack here. Lots of action going on. It's as it has been throughout this entire day. Corbin Taps is another one that lost quite a few positions in the pit lane, and it looks like James Harvin and DuPont are going to be separated. This 6 car is absolutely flying, by the way. This is the exact kind of thing Holly Martin needs. We'll see how many spots she's able to gain over this final run, but she desperately needs a good run, and it looks like she's got a fast car here late in the going. She is easily passing these cars. She was one of the last ones to pitch, so she does have some of the freshest tires in the field. I'll be very interested to see if we do get a yellow, how many spots she can gain on that restart, but we've run 58 laps and we've gone caution free. Only minor incidents that didn't really cause any major problems in this one. Oh boy, and the lap car of Karina Willis Calloway continues to battle Jacob Lopez. She's going to get back past him, but he has gained a few tenths on the 92 of Sasequa, and nobody else is really a threat for the lead here as we close into the final quarter of this race, coming to 20 laps to go. And we will see if we get a final battle for the lead here, or if Lopez will be able to manage this gap for the remainder of the 20 laps. He now tries to get past the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway, but I think the 41 is going to have the run on the top. Maybe not. They're side by side going into turn 1.
If only this was the battle for the lead. If only, the 41 is not a lap down. We're trying to fight to be on the lead lap. It's not really affecting the 50 too bad. The 92 is not really closing in too much, saying about 1.1 seconds. So maybe look out for Lopez here to get the win. But we still got 20 laps to go. And the 92 is not really gaining. It's stayed about the same for many laps now.
Tim Berry took a bit of a chunk out of that lead that last time by, but I just don't know if there's enough time for any of them to catch up without a yellow. But Lopez and Calloway, like you said, if only this was the battle for the lead. This is some exciting stuff between these two. Unfortunately, it's not for position. Karina is fighting very hard to stay on the lead lap with this 50 of Jacob Lopez. She is relentless. She's not letting him get away. And again, this could help Paula Sasequa, but Sasequa, I feel like the 1 lap older tires is definitely not helping that 92 car, because she's really not been able to close in on the 50 that much, even with the battle for the lead, or with this battle with the lap car going on. She has closed in about a tenth the last couple of laps, though, mainly from the 41 causing problems with the 50 car. And I don't think this 41 is going to be going away anytime soon, so... But Lopez has been doing a good job of managing that and making sure that Karina's not too much of an issue, although she's definitely had a bit of close moments with him already, but... Oh, here we go again, the 41 side by side. This 92 might be closing in again. Oh boy, there goes another 10th. Sasequa might have a shot if this continues.
Oh,
They're still side by
boy.
side off at 2. The 41 got a bit squirrely. 17 laps to go. Definitely enough time for Sasequa to catch up, and here she comes. Trying to go
Might have been
2
saving
for
tires.
2.
Oh,
And she got the
never
wall.
mind. Slap the wall of turn 4. I thought the 92 was saving tires, and all the ground that was made is going to be gone after that. And now you got to think if the car's okay, because that might have just took out all the speed that it had.
Yeah, pretty big scrape on the right side for the 92. She was definitely going places there, but got into the wall. And that's unfortunate for her. She lost a couple tenths that last lap, and we'll see if she still has that pace. She loses a couple more tenths, and yeah, I think you're right, Nathan. I think that rubbed off a lot of the speed of that race car. So, very unfortunate break there for Paula Sasequa. Just ran it a little too hard in turn number 4. Joanna Clark has made her way up to P6. Great run for her in that 58 car, especially, Diamond Motorsports having trouble making races with their other car, but oh, Holly Martin is going to bump and run her up the
This might
track
be a
off of turn 4.
caution. Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
there's definitely still a chance for a yellow if we're getting stuff like that. The 27 now has a dent in the right side. But she's going to take 6th back from Joanna Clark. We got lots of racing going on back here. Buchanan, Lake and Herndon, as well as Kobe Hollenbeck in the 2 car, and Jake Sidney in the 19, who's all over the back bumper of
Goodness.
Buchanan.
So trying to cause a wreck back here.
He's going to push it 3 wide going into turn 1, but I don't know. Oh, he does stick the nose underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, see, this is where all the action's at, back here between 10th and 20th. Hollenbeck gets the run off
Oh
the
my goodness.
outside and will hang on to the 9th position. And the 15 and 19 will battle for 10th. And keep an eye on this 6 car, Lori Jackson, rather. She continues to gain spots, and that late pit stop is really helping her out on this long run. She is in the back bumper of her teammate Tyler Landry. Got to make sure not to spin him out. But they've been pretty good at that, not spinning each other out off of turn number 2, although we have had a couple of close moments. But lots of stuff going on back here. But up at the front, Jacob Lopez continues to open up his lead. That hit into the wall definitely affecting the 92 of Paula Sasikwa. Barry and Kim are faster than the leaders right now, but they're just too far back to do anything without a yellow. And we're inside 10 laps to go now. I think Jacob Lopez has probably got it made as long as he can bring this car around to the finish.
And I think for Lopez, it's been a clean day. Outside of, racing with the 41, being a lap car, it's been fine. He's not gone into the wall like the 92. He's not gone too high. He's not gone too low and clipped late, but he's done perfect. And with the 92, definitely falling off the pace now. Just gotta keep it clean with less than 10 laps to go. But I do have a point. The racing has been crazy, and especially outside the top 10. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have a caution because of these guys battling so hard in the mid pack. But great one from that point leader still from Kim, trying to maintain in that 3rd position. But Bailey, this is a great one for the defending champion, deep in the point standings, and gonna be top 5. It looks like for the number 1.
Yeah, Tim Berry desperately needed a race like this. Ran top 5 all day, no issues. He just needs to bring it back around. And yeah, P4 right now. Kate Summers looks like she's scraped the wall. Joanna Clark is going to try and slide job the 27. These two have been racing each other pretty hard these last few laps. But it looks like Clark is going to get the spot away from Holly Martin, at least for now. Jake Sidney has currently taken the 8th spot away from this group of cars. Holly Martin, talk about drivers that need a good run. Holly Martin, or rather Lori Jackson. I keep getting them confused because Martin was in this car last year. Lori Jackson having a great run right now in the 6 car. She could break into that top 10. That's a much needed good run for this 6 team, who's even worse state than Tim Berry, her teammate, is. A few cars back here. Jack Gino, not as dominant as he was last year here, running in P20. Corbin Tapp, 2nd in points, back in 27th, struggling for sure. And Akia Tajima and Kevin DuPont, 2 drivers that we saw further up in the order than this, not having that great of a run anymore towards the back. And Colby Hollenbeck, who not too long ago was up inside the top 10, is now fallen all the way back to 30th. Something is very wrong with that 2 car, and he's slowing
Oh
down
my
a ton.
goodness. Speaking of
Oh,
him, I think
he's got a fuel system failure. He has a mechanical failure.
oh my goodness. Right when we were talking about him, and this could be very
He's
interesting if he
he's
speaks
not
out.
coming in and pitting either. Not sure
This is
why the
not
2 is still on
ideal.
the track.
Oh
He's off
boy.
the pace.
Significantly.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is hazardous. I mean, he should probably pull into the pits. I don't see why he's still out there. I mean, he's topping out at 125. I mean, if this continues, we might have to black flag him.
A major fuel system issue for the number 2 machine as Mikey Fox into the outside wall. and that's unfortunate for that team.
3 laps to go, 2.4-second lead for the 50. He's gonna run up on this 92, or he's gonna run up on this 2 car at some point. But I think as long as he could just pass him, then he'll be fine. 2.5 seconds over the 92 of Paul Sasiqua. As soon as he got the lead, he did not give it up. It has been a flawless race for Jacob Lopez, trying to extend that all-time wins mark to 8. And, who knows? Maybe we will be talking about 10 wins for Jacob Lopez at some point. He's getting close to that as he gets close to the 92, or the 2 car, rather. Yeah, I think we definitely need to pull him off the track just from what I saw right there. I don't think that was the right command, but here we go. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Jacob Lopez, and despite the attempts by the 41 to hold him up, he has only continued to gain time over the 92 of Paul Sasiqua. And rounding through 3 and 4, a flawless race for the 50 car. Jacob Lopez is going to get his 8th career win, his first one of the season. There's the checkered flag. Jacob Lopez goes to victory lane at Phoenix Raceway.
Dominant drive from Jacob Lopez. As soon as the McDonald's 50 took the lead, never lost it. Who knows what would happen if, the 92 didn't hit the wall when they got into the area of the 50 and the 41, as you see the damage there, but what a dominant drive from the 50 McDonald's machine, and I know where they are going after doing celebrations here today.
Absolutely. Paula Sasiqua with another fantastic run, this time on sheer pace. P2. This 92 has had a few different drivers in it, and it seems like almost all of them have excelled in this car. Not sure what they're doing here. Well, I should be sure, because that's my team, but whatever they're doing with that 92 team, it is working. Sasiqua first and second in her 2 starts. Maybe she should start looking to other teams, because you've got some teams that were scrambling for drivers this week. Maybe she should start looking at some other teams to try and fill out the rest of her schedule, because who knows? Maybe she could even make a run at the chase if this keeps going. Alnita Kim, P3. Speaking of the chase, she's going to extend her points lead. She has been fantastic. That is her 3rd podium in the last 4 races. It looked like we had a bit of an incident after the race there between the 99 and the 98. So the 98 just can't stay out of trouble. But Tim Berry, that's a much needed top 5 for him. Kate Summers gets a P5, so that's 2 for Pacific Racing in the top 5. Holly Martin, Lori Jackson gets a much needed. Both of them needed that run. A 6th place for Martin. That's her 2nd in a row. Lori Jackson gets her first top 10 of the season. Joanna Clark, Nathan Buchanan, James Harvin round out the top 10. Everybody finished the race, 34 of them on the lead lap. The only 2 that were a lap down, Damon Kirby, who had some serious left side damage in that first run, and Kobe Hollenbeck, who had the fuel system go out. He refused to pit, and I guess it worked out for him because he didn't finish last, but I mean, that was a pretty dangerous move for him. Lucky that it didn't result in an accident. And well, what a race we had here at Phoenix Raceway. Pretty pedestrian, pretty close to last year's race, not really reaching the highs of 2 years ago, but still a solid race all around. A great race driven by Jacob Lopez. Nathan, what did you think about this? And maybe give us a preview for Kansas, which will be next week for the Cup Series.
Oh boy, Kansas is always a lot of fun, and that's going to be a good one. But this was a fun one. Definitely like the slipping and sliding that we saw with it being 94 degrees here today, and definitely saw that here. Great job from Jacob Lopez. Took the lead very early on and never looked back, even with the 92 closing in and some others tried to close in but couldn't. But a very fun race here today at Phoenix. Very multi-group. You could literally won anywhere you wanted to. And we saw that all race long. And luckily, I think everyone was able to make it halfway split it on fuel and tires, and no one had to pay again. So that was good. And we gotta see what happens next. We got Kansas. If some momentum can find Jacob Lopez's way here early in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Lopez got off to a pretty rough start. He was 32nd in points at one point, but he is looking pretty good now after back-to-back solid performances in that 50 car. He entered this race 28th in points. He finished 7th at Coda, and he gets a dominating win here at Phoenix. And that is the kind of stuff that we expect from Jacob Lopez. There's a reason that he's the all-time wins leader. He's definitely one of the best that LSCI has to offer. Paula Sisico, I think, is going to be turning a lot of heads now after backing up that win, which might have been a little bit on the fluky side with a second place run here. And if she didn't get that wall off of turn 4, she might have had something for Jacob Lopez at the end. But yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Alnita Kim, the rookie leading the points right now, going to extend that points lead. Corbin Taps, who was second in points, finished all the way down in 25th. Billy Smith, who's third, finished in 21st. Tajima finished 28th. Basically, everybody that was chasing Alnita Kim finished far behind her. And that is big for the chase because the regular season points champion gets a big haul of bonus points when we enter into that, much like they do in real life. So Alnita Kim bursting onto the scene, already got her win at Homestead, got a third place at Auto Club, and gets a third place here. She is definitely lighting the world on fire with her performances here. But today is Jacob Lopez's day as he gets the win here at Phoenix. His last win was the season finale last year at Las Vegas. So that's going to be win number 8 for Jacob Lopez. And congratulations to him and Motor Racing Ventures on their first win of the season. Thank you, Nathan, for joining me in the booth. Always a pleasure having you. And on behalf of Nathan Stapleton, this is Brendan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network signing out. Here are your point standings after race number 6 of 30, which will be on your screen right now.